Hi guys, welcome to the Wrestling Retrospective, and in this video I will be doing my review of AEW Double or Nothing 2023. So first up on the buy-in we have the Hardy Boys and Hook defeating Ethan Page and the Guns. So because of that, Matt Hardy now owns Ethan Page's contract. This contract stuff, it really doesn't interest me very much. I don't understand why they keep doing it. I understand it's like they owned Hardy's contract, now he was there and all that other stuff, but it's not something that I keep up with very much because I don't really understand why it's such a big deal to own somebody's contract and all that other stuff. I also made it clear in my predictions video that I didn't watch Rampage this week because I thought it was going to be Isaiah Cassidy teaming up with the Hardys, and it wasn't, it was Hook. So that's my fault, I'm sorry. I was watching Impact Under Siege instead. But yeah, the match itself was really good. I did worry about Jeff Hardy. It looks like he took a really bad bump, or he just seemed to be lying down on the corner, and I don't know whether it was because he was blown up, because this is his first match properly in a while, or whether he got hurt. But either way, it didn't look very good for Hardy, and I worry that he's not going to be doing many matches because this kind of sort of thing happened last year at Double or Nothing. And yeah, it's just a bit worrying on the part of as someone who's a fan of Jeff Hardy for this to be happening. But yeah, I'm surprised they had the Hardys on the buy-in. I thought this match was going to be on the main show, so obviously during the buy-in we were watching it and this match started, I was surprised. I thought with the Hardy Boys' first match in a while, they'd have it on the main show. Clearly not. But yeah, decent win for them. Decent match altogether. Not much else to say about it. And the story between Ethan Page and Matt Hardy continues, which I have really no interest in. I know it's like a negative way to start the review, but I'm going to be completely honest with you. So the first match on the main show was the Blackjack Battle Royal for the International Championship, which Orange Cassidy retained against 20 other opponents. This one I got right predictions wise. I thought it was a really good, fun battle royal, as pretty much all battle royals are in my opinion. I do like a good battle royal. But yeah, I thought the things that surprised me was Big Bill getting Final Four. I didn't think he'd get very far into the match, but he actually got Final Four. Ricky Starks got eliminated and kind of nothing was made of it. I think he got eliminated by Big Bill as well, so he didn't get eliminated by either member of Bullet Club Gold. I thought he would have been one of the final three, and instead I think he got Final 5 or Final 6. I would have liked to have seen have Penta and Orange Cassidy kind of go at one another a bit more, just because I feel like they had a really good match on Dynamite, and having a match to end a battle royal would be really good. But what Swerve and Orange Cassidy did was really good as well. I did enjoy that, and the ending where Orange Cassidy looked like he was going to go for a punch and then just lightly kicked him off and he won the match was really cool. I would like to see a one-on-one match between Orange Cassidy and Swerve Cassidy. No, oh my god, Swerve Strickland, sorry. I thought that would be a really fun match. But as well as rematches with Buddy Matthews, I thought their match was really good I think about a month or so ago on Dynamite. I would love to see a rematch for that. And to be fair, I don't know who's going to take the international title off Orange Cassidy. I feel like it's someone we're probably not even considering, maybe someone who's currently injured. I probably would have said Pac, but then he took the title off Pac, and I feel like it wouldn't be a hot potato, but I feel like they should have some different champions before Pac gets it again. Maybe Pac should go for the TNT title. I just want Pac's really good, so I just want him to be on a champion at some point. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to see where Orange Cassidy goes from here. He also mentioned that he'd want to face Zack Sabre Jr. at Forbidden Door. I feel like that would be an awesome match. So yeah, it looks like Orange Cassidy can continue having his weekly great matches on Dynamite or on Collision, as that starts next week. But either way, very happy with the match, and yeah, overall enjoyed it. Next up on the show we had the unsanctioned match where Adam Cole defeated Chris Jericho. Personally, I was really disappointed with this match. It kind of didn't go to the extreme lengths I thought it was going to. I know this was it finished via referee stoppage and Jericho couldn't defend himself, but I don't feel like that was a definitive finish. Even though I know they're going to carry on the rivalry because there's a mixed tag match on Dynamite this week. But I don't know, I just expected a lot more. I expected it to be a lot bloodier, see some really extreme and crazy looking submissions where it looks like it was generally really uncomfortable to watch. I mean, Adam Cole saying he was going to break Jericho's legs, his face, his hands, all this, and he didn't really do that. I was also disappointed with the fact that we didn't really see much Sabu. I know he put someone through a table and he did his usual chair stuff, but I was expecting a lot more from him. Especially he was put down as special enforcer, but he was only out there for like the first few minutes and then was gone. I did expect a lot more from that. But yeah, overall, I was disappointed with it. I didn't really enjoy it. I'm glad that the rivalry is continuing. I hope Chris Jericho does some more really controversial stuff. But giving Adam Cole a win this early in the feud, I thought was the wrong idea. It makes me think that Jericho is going to win later on, and we're going to have another case where Jericho wins the feud he should have lost, like he did with MJF, like a year or so ago. Or maybe in 2 years, to be fair. But yeah, overall, I said not great. Expected more. Just kind of let down by it, to be fair. Following that, we had FTR successfully defend the AEW World Tag Team Championships against Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal, with Mark Briscoe as the special guest referee. This was a really good match, generally really enjoyed it, but then when does FTR ever put on a bad match? I thought Mark Briscoe did a really good job as special referee. He didn't make it all about him, like I've known special referees to do. And he also he wasn't very biased throughout, which was good. I was worried that maybe he was going to be a bit more lenient towards Jarrett and Lethal rather than FTR. But no, he called it straight down the middle like he said. He didn't cope with no bullshit like he said he wasn't going to on Dynamite, which was good. And yeah, I said it was a really fun match. I think with Jarrett, Lethal, Dutt and Karen Jarrett all trying to cheat at times. Dutt trying to kind of blocking Aubrey Edwards to get the pin. I'm surprised that Aubrey Edwards took a guitar bump from Karen Jarrett. I wasn't gonna lie, I was worried at times that Jeff Jarrett and the J were gonna win I'm a big fan of Impact, so I'm used to Jeff Jarrett always getting his own way and always winning championships and stuff like that. So I'm not gonna lie, I was worried at times that FTR were gonna lose here and that would be it, because they said they were gonna retire next time they lost. At least lost the titles anyway. But yeah, very worried, and I honestly can't stand Jeff Jarrett and Karen Jarrett. Like I said, from TNA and Impact to AEW, just I hate them so much. And yeah, I was worried that they were gonna cheat and get the win here, but luckily they didn't. FTR got the win. It was a really good moment at the end with Mark celebrating with FTR. And yeah, good match overall. I'm hoping for like maybe Aussie Open to challenge FTR next, or maybe them have a rematch with the Acclaimed. That'd be quite good. But either way, FTR I don't think can ever put on a bad match, as I said at the start. So either way, it's going to be good. And FTR continue to be World Tag Team Champions. After that, we had Wardlow successfully defend the TNT Championship against Christian Cage with Luchasaurus by his side in a ladder match. Yeah, I thought this was another decent match. I haven't got much to say. I haven't got much notes written on this one. I thought it was an absolute spot fest. From Wardlow doing a swanton off a huge ladder onto Luchasaurus, and Arn Anderson like biting the skin off Luchasaurus's finger. I thought was grim. I didn't believe he actually did that. Like oh man, it made me cringe all over when I saw Luchasaurus's skin just hanging off and blood all over his finger. It was like, I love violence and shit. That just made me cringe. I couldn't stop moving my hand afterwards. I couldn't believe it. But yeah, I think decent match. It was always going to be. Wardlow's good in these kind of matches, and Christian is obviously a pioneer of the ladder match, so I had no doubts that this was going to be a good match. I'm curious to see who Wardlow goes on to face next. Part of me feels like Powerhouse Hobbs may go for the title next as a rematch for losing his, but then I feel like it would then mean that they're stuck in a position again where people would want Powerhouse Hobbs to win. But Wardlow also needs to win just to carry on his feud, carry on his title reign. Maybe Luchasaurus gets a shot next, just to carry things going on over to Forbidden Door. Maybe he faces someone from New Japan for the title at Forbidden Door. Maybe, I'm not sure, but either way, I'm sure it'll be good. Wardlow is really, though I don't have like the investment I had in him this time last year. He is good in the ring. He's like he is like a better version of Batista. He even has the look of Batista, just the powerbombs like Batista, but he's way more athletic and really does have what it takes to be a world champion. But I feel like he'd be more of a world champion in WWE rather than AEW. Well, that's my opinion anyway. I feel like he would fit right in WWE. But yeah, I said really good. Did enjoy it. And yeah, I said not much else to say about that one. Following that, we had Toni Storm defeat Jamie Hayter to become the new AEW Women's World Champion. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I was absolutely gutted by this result. Like, as soon as Jamie Hayter didn't come out to her theme the first time, I knew something was up. And then the second time when the Outcasts brought her down, I was just like, no, no, not this way. And then there was some hope when Hayter kicked out, and then she hit the Ripcord lariat. And then Tony kicked out, and I was like, no, this is actually going to happen. And then they did the turnbuckle bit and the roll up, and honestly, I was such a deflating feeling knowing that Hayter was going to lose here. I think it's because her arm's injured, and if that is the case, then fair enough. But Jamie Hayter is hands down my favourite wrestler in wrestling right now, and it was just to have her lose in such a way. Like, if anything, I would have actually preferred it if Saraya got the title shot and won it in this kind of way, because it kind of fits her better than Tony. Even though they're all part of the Outcast, I would have had this fit better for Saraya, but they didn't, and Tony had it back. I am a bit worried about it because Tony's first title reign completely put me off Toni Storm. I was a big fan of hers in WWE, but her first title run really put me off. So I'm hoping that I kind of become more of a fan, seeing how she takes this title reign. And yeah, I think I don't know, it's maybe because I'm biased towards Jamie. I want her to be the next contender and win it back whenever she's fit and ready to come back. I'm glad they decided to have her lose the title like this rather than have an interim champion. But yeah, it was just I hated it so much. In the moment, I was just like shouting no at the telly, and I think completely overreacting. But oh man, I hated it so much because I just love Jamie Hayter. But yeah, hopefully this leads to Blood and Guts. I know I mentioned this like every AEW review video, and it was even asked actually at the press conference afterwards to Toni Storm that would she and the Outcast go into Blood and Guts against the originals, and she was up for it. I'm totally up for it. I think it'll be an awesome match. But we'll have to wait and see till Blood and Guts. I think Blood and Guts is June, July time actually, so it could be in the next few weeks, at least within the next month. But yeah, it wasn't really much of a match. I can't really say it was a good or bad match. It wasn't much of a match. So either way, like, the thing itself was deflating for me. I'm disappointed with the result. But if Jamie's hurt, then fair enough, and Toni Storm is the new AEW World Women's Champion. After that, there was some saving grace as the House of Black came out for their match. I am, just like Jamie, I am a massive fan of the House of Black. I love everything about it. I love Malachi, Brody, and Buddy, and Julia. I love the gimmick. I love everything about it. And yeah, it kind of brought my mood back up again during the pay-per-view. But I didn't expect the Acclaimed to come out, to be fair. I'm not going to lie. I don't like the Acclaimed. It's just not my cup of tea. I'll be honest, it's not my kind of thing. I don't really like it that much. The raps are good. Yeah, I will say that the raps that Max Caster do are good. But I just don't like the gimmick. I don't like. It's not my cup of tea. As I said, I don't like it that much, and I'm glad that House of Black retained here. I was slightly concerned because the Acclaimed are so over that they would have them win here. But I feel like if they're going to have the House of Black lose, they probably put more of a build on the match that they do lose at. But yeah, they said the match itself though was really good. Anthony Bowens, showing strength and stuff like that by being in there for so long with a leg injury, or at least they targeted the leg so much that it seemed injured. It was really good. The rap at the start about Dominic and Buddy Murphy and Rhea Ripley was really good. I did like that. And yeah, I think the match itself really good. Very much enjoyed it. Action packed. I did have some doubts that the House of Black would win, but I'm glad they did. And I'm enjoying the whole house rules thing. I think that's a really good way of like making it unique to every other tag team and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm glad they retained, and I look forward to all their other matches because I love all their matches. They're so good. And yeah, it said, pretty much enjoyed it, and House of Black retained the Trios Championships. So following that, we had kind of the match of two halves, as I'm sure you all know, where Jade Cargill defeated Ty Valkyrie. Their match was really good. It was a lot better than the first match they had on Dynamite. I very much enjoyed it. I did genuinely think that Jade Cargill were going to lose to Ty Valkyrie at one point, especially when she hit Road to Valhalla. And the reaction of Ty Valkyrie when Jade Cargill kicked out was really good. It showed like how important it was. I like the fact that Smart Mark Sterling and Leah Gray, either way, the woman that Jade has by her side, I think it's, I can't remember her name. It's something Gray. Either way, they barely got involved. It was only a little bit of interference, which was really good. It made Jade look stronger, like she didn't need them out there really. I don't know exactly. I probably should have looked it up beforehand, but I felt like this was Jade's longest match to date, and it was definitely her best match to date. And I'm glad that like she had a more experienced opponent in Ty Valkyrie rather than the kind of almost jobbers that she's been getting for most of her wins during her title reign. But yeah, it's a really good match. Very much enjoyed it, and yeah, say positives all around for the match, or the first match. And then yeah, Jade Cargill got the win. She retains the TBS Championship and she goes 60-0, which is a massive streak, really good, especially for a new wrestler who's only been wrestling like 2 years, they said on commentary, which is great. You know, I said she improves every time she's in the ring as well, so nothing but positives for Jade Cargill and for the match itself. And then Smart Mark comes into the ring and he says that Jade can defend whenever, wherever, all the usual stuff a manager would do. And everyone's looking at the ramp because they know somebody's going to come out. And holy shit, I popped like fuck. I think if my neighbours were in, I definitely woke them up, because I popped massively as Chris Statlander has made her return and beat Jade Cargill in a quick match. It was pretty even. It was quick, but Jade Cargill did get some offense in, which was good. I'm glad it wasn't a complete squash. But Chris Statlander is your new TBS and only second ever TBS champion. And yeah, very happy. Statlander fully deserves it. And yep, I was hoping it was going to be Statlander that beat Cargill. I wasn't expecting it to be right after this match. But you know what, I'm kind of glad they did it this way. It made for a really good moment for Chris Statlander, and an amazing moment just for the crowd. I've spent all weekend popping all over the place. When I do my Night of Champions review, I popped a few times during that match as well. That pay-per-view, sorry, not mine. But yeah, same, really good. Very much enjoyed it. So happy Statlander's back and fully deserves to be the new TBS. And finally, in one of the two main events of the evening, MJF defeated Jungle Boy Jack Perry, Darby Allin and Sammy Guevara to retain the AEW World Championship. This for me was match of the night. Which is surprising. I wasn't expecting it to be match of the night, but it was for me. I really enjoyed it. It was action-packed throughout. During the press conference at the end of the pay-per-view, MJF said that this is the best Fatal 4-Way match of all time. Honestly, I can't remember a Fatal 4-Way match that was this good. Like, I would honestly probably say it was the best Fatal 4-Way match I've ever seen anyway. Nothing springs to mind about a better Fatal 4-Way match, to be fair. For me, Sammy Guevara was the MVP of this match. He impressed me so much. Like, I keep forgetting like how good he is because of how much of a heel he is at times, and how much he can let that overshadow how good he is. I've noticed anyway, especially being in the Jericho Appreciation Society. Like, not the spotlight isn't always on him, which I think is like the wrong decision. If anything, he should probably, I know a lot of people say this as well, but he should probably go away from Chris Jericho for a bit and do his own thing, because he's so good, and I do forget how good he is. But it is the same with all four of them, really. But yeah, for me, Sammy Guevara was MVP of the match. It was really nice how they announced at the start during his entrance that him and Tamela are going to have a baby, so congrats to them. Like, they're going to be watching this video anyway. But yeah, it was just great. I feel sorry for Darby Allin, who lost to a headlock takeover for the second time on pay-per-view to MJF. Like, I don't know, it almost feels like a burial, because it's happened twice now, and it's just like, I can't believe. And I know it adds more to MJF's heel persona than damages Darby Allin. But it was just like, I can't believe they're doing this again. It was bad enough they did it the first time, but I remember not liking it. Like, I think it was Full Gear last year, or the year before. I can't remember exactly. The match itself was really good, but ending it with Headlock Takeover was not great, and I can't believe they did it again. But I'm unsure what's next for Jungle Boy and Darby Allin. I can see Sammy Guevara kind of becoming more of a face and then turning on the Jericho Appreciation Society. One thing that did make me laugh was when they announced the pregnancy. Like, only some people cheered. There wasn't much reaction to it, which made me laugh. Normally when there's like a big announcement, like a pregnancy or a marriage, they gets a big pop. This barely got any noise. At least that's how it came across on the TV, which it did make me laugh, I'm not going to lie. So yeah, I can see Sam Guevara becoming more of a face and kind of having a feud with Chris Jericho maybe after the Adam Cole feud's finished. Jungle Boy, I'm not sure. I feel like I would have said he could go for the TNT title like I said before, but Wardlow is a face, and I feel like that would be the wrong way to go. I don't know, I'm sure that something will come around for Jungle Boy to get his teeth sunk into, especially with there being 2 shows on a weekly basis now. But I'm not sure who will be against. And as for Darby Allin, I'm really not sure. Like, I know Orange Cassidy mentioned on the press conference that he's been enjoying tagging with Darby Allin. Maybe they made that a regular team, I'm not sure, because they've obviously Orange Cassidy is kind of the leader of the Best Friends. So for him to make a tag team where there's the Best Friends, Bandido has now joined, I think, or he's just associated with them, I'm not sure. And then to have another tag team, and Darby Allin really doesn't fit the kind of Best Friends gimmick. I'm not sure where that's going. I'm kind of hoping it doesn't happen, just because I don't think it would fit Darby Allin very well. And as for MJF, his next, I've kind of noticed with MJF is that his first feud was with Ricky Starks over the title, then Danielson, now this. I feel like he's going like younger, older, younger, older. So I think if it was up to me, I'd have his next feud be either Hangman Adam Page, but I know he's still going to be involved with the BCC stuff, or with it being Forbidden Door coming up, maybe even have him take on Tanahashi or Okada. Like, I feel like if he got a win over Tanahashi or Okada, he would like rub it in everyone's face that like he beat like the best New Japan has to offer first time round, and you can. I think like myself, a lot of people can see him being a complete arsehole about it. And it would make for a really good story, and it would probably make him, again, make people think, oh, well, he really is a really good wrestler, which I already think he is. But I know there's lots of people out there that just think he's not, and it's ridiculous that they think that. I know that he went on a whole tirade about it, I think last time he was on pay-per-view, so it would have been after Revolution. And yeah, it's just, I feel like it makes more, I don't know, I feel like him beating the top star in Japan at Forbidden Door would be really good for his character, just because he would absolutely take the piss. But yeah, I said the match overall, really, really good, very much enjoyed it. Match of the night in my opinion. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what the 4 of them do next, especially MJF. And finally, in the second part of the 2 main events, we had the Blackpool Combat Club defeat the Elite in Anarchy in the Arena. I'd say this was very, very close to being match of the night. It was like a very close second to be match of the night. I mean, I've said that I love violence. Like, violence is my thing, and I love it. And there was plenty in this match, as to be expected. I think the brawls at the start, everything about it. Highlights for me were Matt Jackson going foot first into the tax was just grim. Again, made me cringe again. Matt Jackson's exploding shoe when he hit a super kick on Moxley, like, that was crazy. It was almost like a blink and you'll miss it moment. And yeah, the reveal of Takeshita. Takeshita at the end helping Don Callis when it looked like Kenny Omega was going to get his rival. But yeah, I think it's just. Yes, it was a really good match. I've not really got much written on my notes as far as thinking. It was just a really good match. Really enjoyed it. It kind of went exactly how I thought it was going to go, really. Other than Matt Jackson and Claudio kind of fucking off for a while and then them both coming back eventually. I didn't really understand why they did that. But yes, it's really enjoyable. I think Kenny Omega said off the show, kind of people took videos after, that he's not done with the BCC and that he's got friends in other places, which people immediately thought Ibushi is gonna come out and help him. Maybe that's the case. I'm not sure. I don't really keep up with New Japan that much, so I don't really know who he bring in. I don't really know a lot of Kenny Omega's history other than in the AEW. So yeah, if there's anything I need to check out, put it in the comments down below and I will. And I think the most shocking part of everything was Wheeler Yuta pinned Kenny Omega for the win, which is huge for Wheeler Yuta. Like, talk about progression in the last few years, especially since joining the Blackpool Combat Club. Like, people are like praise him enough already, but for him to pin one of the best, if not the best wrestler in the world in Kenny Omega is massive. Like, I'd love to see those two just have a singles match and have like Wheeler cheat to win. Like, I feel like that'd be another huge victory for him. It reminded me of in NXT when Raquel won the War Games match, and then she got like a world title match at the next pay-per-view, or the premium live event. It feels like that's kind of where it's going. I'd love to see Wheeler Yuta and Kenny Omega have a feud, or like have a feud within this feud. But I feel like they'd have a really good match. And yeah, I'd say that's probably the biggest moment of the match was Wheeler Yuta getting the pin. I assumed that Elite were going to win. Oh no, I didn't. I predicted that the Blackpool Combat Club would win. But I thought if the Elite were going to win, Wheeler would take the pin, not get the pin. I couldn't believe it. I had a legitimate shock on my face when that happened. But yeah, like, really enjoyed it throughout. It kind of went, it went how I expected it to go, as like the violence everywhere. I expected more blood. I didn't like Danielson, Matt Jackson, Yuta and Claudio didn't bleed. I expected them all to bleed. But no, it's kind of good in a way. But yeah, they're enjoyable. It wasn't as good as the first Anarchy in the Arena in my opinion, but it's still really, I enjoyed it. And would have had it in main event? Probably not, but that's my opinion. But yeah, Blackpool Combat could get the win. So they are my thoughts and opinions of Double or Nothing 2023. As you can see in this corner here on the top to my right, so it'd be your left, I think. Yeah. I got a 7 out of 9. Obviously, I didn't predict Cargill versus Statlander and House of Black versus the Acclaimed because they weren't announced beforehand. They were announced before. Well, what was I saying? So the House of Black match was announced beforehand, but after I did my predictions, and then obviously Cargill and Statlander was done on the night, so I couldn't have put them in. So overall for AEW, so between Revolution and Double or Nothing, I am 14 out of 17, which is pretty good to be fair, I think. You know, still more than half, which is good. And yeah, so do put down below what your opinions of the pay-per-view were, what your favourite match was. My match of the night, again, was MJF. MJF, Darby Allin, Jungle Boy, and Sammy Guevara for the world title. And yes, any feedback as well you've got, please do put in the comments. Would be much appreciated. And I will see you guys tomorrow for the review of Night of Champions. I know that I'm kind of doing a different order, but I thought if I upload Double or Nothing today, it might get more views because Double or Nothing was yesterday night. So it's kind of tactical for a views thing, but maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, I don't know. But yeah, Night of Champions review is coming tomorrow, where I'll do like an overview of the whole weekend, which pay-per-view I preferred and why. I'll do that on tomorrow's video. But for now, I thank you guys, and I'll see you guys later on. Thank you for watching.